Hey everyone, it's TJ again with another StarCraft 2 beta replay commentary. This is going to be game 2 between Pmak and Shinn. You guys are aware that this is going to be a 7-game show match for a free copy, a free retail copy of StarCraft 2. The first game was played on Lost Temple, I believe, and yeah, it was Pmak who eked out the victory over Shinn just by a very narrow margin, going with a heavy infantry build with a couple of tank support over a Protoss ground army. This second map has been picked by Shinn. It is going to be on Metalopolis, so let's see how the two players here who are spawning on the 3 and 6 position are able to cope, because it looks like this is one of those maps where even though it is a larger map, since they spawn so close, it kind of turns into a close rush distance, sort of like Steps of War. And it seems that Shinn here will be scouting early and being able to find a Terran base right away. Pmak might have a clue that since that probe did come from so close and the bottom side, it'll probably dawn on him that the Protoss is at 6 o'clock. Anyhow, let's see what's happening here. These guys are used to playing each other. They've played each other quite a many number of times, I guess, but every game is still pretty different. Every game is still pretty interesting to watch, as the Protoss probe here is going to go around and harass the workers and just get overall general scouting of Pmak's base. Now, last game we saw something from Pmak that we don't normally see, and that's him being a little bit more aggressive with his infantry and actually pushing out a bit earlier. It's good for a Terran player to do that against the Protoss, just to be able to see what he has. I mean, you could wait for a counter or just like be reactive to the Protoss build, but it's also nice to just be a little aggressive and, you know, possibly get a Hellion or two out just to harass a bit. It's always a great thing. So anyway, Pmak here has scouted Shinn's base, and he is gonna take his SCV and get the heck out of there. So Shinn is just macroing up some more probes. The cybernetics core is going down. This is pretty standard opener for both these guys. I'm not exactly sure what kind of build they're going to go for, as Pmak is building Marines off of the one barrack. I'd have to note that I think these two races are probably the strongest races for both these players. So for the rest of the tournament, I think they're both going to be going Protoss and Terran, so we're probably not going to see any Zerg during this 7-game show match. So sorry for the Zerg fans, myself included. It's probably my own strongest race, so I do know a fair amount about these two other races, because I like to learn all the different races, but I do prefer the Zerg and just their playstyle. I'd really like to get better with Terran, but unfortunately for me, it's the race that I suck with the most. It is the race that I want to be the best with, but it's the race that I suck with. I just have a hard time keeping up with Terran macro and just being able to adjust, because there are so many units that a Terran can build. So figuring out the right one to do is sometimes a little challenge, as we see the 2 gateways and a robo facility going down here for Shinn. It looks like he will be transitioning to a 2-gate robo build. Maybe we could see an Immortal or 2, maybe a Colossus or such, because there is a dual gas going down here for him. And for Pmak, he is getting a second refinery as well. It looks like a 2 barracks into a factory build is what we're going to be doing. No player has decided to expand early, as they're both well into the 20s with both their harvester counts. Army sizes are relatively the same, while the income is pretty much the same as well. Harvesters, actually Pmak is a bit behind in harvesters, but the mules of course make up for that fact. As you can see, he's not that far behind in income. Let's see what else we have here, folks. What else is being produced right now? The factory is still on the way. While nothing is too out of the ordinary in a Protoss, but we have a Chrono boosted observer, which is going to go straight to the base just to get a free peek. So the Protoss map hacks, as it's so called, is on the way to the base. And let's see. Pmak will get that engineering bay. He has the game sense to know that Shinn likes to bust out those Protoss observers, so he does get at the engineering bay, possibly not just for the upgrades, but also for a missile turret smartly placed here or there. I usually would put one right here, or so, just so it'd deny the observer, or else at least force the observer to go down around here. But let's see what Shinn decides to do, or sorry, what Pmak will decide to do, as he is just pumping out more SCVs. The robotics facility is on the way, as well as level 1 upgrades for Pmak, and the Robo Bay will